Is there a God? I don't know. Just tell me. At number 57 on the list, it's Gifted. Welcome to Long Play Video. Oh, well, welcome in. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. Nice day for a movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had our fill of sports in the Olympics now, which is always good. Back to movies and old movies, or maybe not so old movies actually for this week. I don't really want to introduce this one too much, but at number 57, there's a film called Gifted from 2017. Presumably you haven't heard of it or seen it. It's quite a small film.
Yes, I've not heard or seen of it. So this is red flag, alarm bells going off. Like, woo, woo, woo. This is an Andy film.
I think there's a quote on the DVD cover that says it's an Andy film. Yeah, let me hand you over the DVD. I don't think
I should ask what the
runtime
is, just to check that before I look at the case. Oh God, yeah, it looks awful. Well, no, maybe it won't be awful. Let's stay positive. So it's a picture of two people on the front cover. It's Chris Evans. So Chris Evans in the foreground, and then a
Captain America rather than
yes.
Don't forget your toothbrush.
Yeah. God, that was, how good was that? I forgot how good that was. That was such a good show. Yeah. Or so Chris Evans in the foreground, and then I guess it looks like it's a girl, right? So like maybe his daughter in the background, and it's obviously called Gifted. Well, I say it's obviously called Gifted. You haven't said that yet. Yeah, so it is called Gifted. So Frank Adler, Chris Evans, is a single man raising a child prodigy. His spirited young niece, his young niece Mary McKenna Grace, is in a coastal town in Florida. Frank's plan for a normal school life for Mary are failed when the 7-year-old mathematical abilities come to the attention of Frank's formidable mother, Evelyn, whose plan for her granddaughter threatens to separate Frank and Mary. I mean, I don't really want to use an expletive, but
the colouring of it is just off that sort of yellow colour that you get in. I think The Visitor had. I think Murder Camp had.
This looks like gastro diarrhea colour. That's what this is. This is what this is going to give me.
I think it's supposed to be gold rather than brown. But yeah, the reproduction is a bit off.
Yeah. Well, the reproduction knows. It's seen this film and it understands. It's like, yeah.
It's funny they don't mention Octavia Spencer on there at all. Mm-hmm. Who's probably like maybe the fourth lead, fifth lead, maybe. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get too many people on there, you know. I mean, it looks like a pretty basic DVD cover. To be fair, and it doesn't look that bad. I mean, obviously, so it's 2017. So,
yeah,
it's pretty new. So yeah, it's pretty standard. Yeah, it looks pretty good quality. But well, we should maybe hand over to you, because why? Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. Why do you like it, or when did you? Yeah, when did you first see it?
Yeah, so I watched it at the beginning of 2018, and I was trying to think about why I watched it, and I think it was because I'd seen a trailer for it. And then I watched the trailers and I was like, no, these are rubbish. Like, I'm not sure if I would have watched the film having watched this trailer.
So and now it's in your top 100 movie.
So the director is Mark Webb, who did 100 Days of Summer, which obviously like is, with Zoe Deschanel and
500 Days of Summer. Is that right?
500 Days of Summer, yeah.
I just outfilmed you.
100 Days of Summer was the prequel.
Yeah, 100 Days of Summer is the one I'd rather watch. No, 500 Days of Summer is a good film. Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, I don't actually like it that much. So
do you not think the ending's really good?
No, I think
without spoiling.
I think it's a bit heavy-handed. I think it's a bit obvious. I remember actually, someone had watched it at work who we both worked with, and
Yeah.
they came in and were like, "Oh, I love that ending because did you get it? Like that it's autumn." I was just like, "Yeah, I did." And they were like, "Oh, that was so clever. That was so clever." I just feel like, was it?
Am I gonna have to ask you off screen who this is? So I think I know who
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
We won't name and shame anyone just in case they're listening to the pod.
It's not
Yeah.
your nephews, is it? I mean, do we need to bring them back up? Just check.
No, I don't think they've watched this.
No.
But yes, but actually was yeah, the best film I watched at home in 2018. Yeah, because I think I again, I say this every week. I think I don't want to overhype it, but like
Yeah.
from the write up on the DVD and even like the setup of the film, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be a good film. Like I get that I'm not so oblivious to anti movies that I don't know that the premise shouldn't work. It shouldn't be good.
No.
It is very basic. It's not like there's not like a sudden twist in it that makes it amazing. But it's just I do think it's a surprising film that just all really works. Like they get the balance between kind of the emotional resonance, the comedy, the acting performances, like how everyone interplays against each other.
Yeah.
Like, and finally, I just it's sort of one of those films where I think the criticism of it will be like, oh, well, this is just a TV movie. But for me, like some of those TV movies can be really good and like it can be like really surprising. You know, the movies that you just sort of you watch like you sort of catch halfway through and you're like, oh yeah, this is actually really good. What happened at the beginning of this? And you don't really need to watch the beginning because it's not going to give you any more information. But it is just it's the type of film that you sort of I think I just sort of watched randomly and just really really enjoyed and really actually I mean obviously it's about sort of a father figure and daughter relationship, so obviously like I get why that might mean more like more to me or not even more to me but like why I would like that. But I just think it works really well. I just I just think it all comes together in a really good way.
So a question for you then. So I'm just having a look here at Chris Evans, his back catalogue, and obviously like you said he's very well known as Captain America now. So this is right in the middle of the whole Marvel universe. You know, it was Captain America Civil War was 2016. This came out in 2017. And then he obviously makes a small cameo in Spider-Man Homecoming in the same year. And then he's in Avengers Infinity War in 2018. So it's right in the middle of, Marvel universe. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Chris Evans? Do you think, like, I feel like he's just almost become just Captain America now. So do you think he was trying to do this to do something a bit different and just maybe just change it up a bit? And what are your thoughts on him as an actor? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely do, and I think this is I mean, he's not done that much else, right, apart from Captain America because he couldn't, and so this is almost he has to do sort of smaller films to kind of squeeze them in between. Like in between all of the Marvel stuff, right? And I mean, I think sort of what I like about this actually is that, after this and after sort of Avengers was kind of done, he then he's played like bad guys because I think he wanted to sort of shake the image of Captain America. Whereas it's not like, oh, he could be Captain America in this, like without the superpowers, but like, I think he gives a really good performance in my opinion. Like he's just sort of is he too good looking to be like an everyman? Like maybe, but also maybe not because he's just kind of there. They don't sort of they don't like play to his physique or his looks or stuff too much.
Pitt, I guess, right? They did that. Brad Pitt would do everyman sort of films.
Yeah.
He's obviously good looking guy as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you look through like his other films, this is the highest rated one.
Oh really?
Yeah, the non-Avengers ones.
Okay. Yeah, I really liked him in. I mean, I'm a big fan of The Grey Man. I like that. I thought it was a good film. But I thought he is a great. I mean, not to spoil it for anyone, but if you haven't seen it, put your fingers in your ears or take your your AirPods out. He's a great. I thought he was a great baddie in that. Like he was. I thought he was very good in that. I don't know if you've seen it or you like it, but I thought he was
Yeah,
really good. He's just a bit on edge, and I think that he performed that very well. And it's a bit of a shame because for me, I think in Avengers, Captain America is one of my least favorite characters. So it's kind
yeah,
of like, you know, has he kind of just become that person? And actually, he could be a bigger ranged actor. That dilemma, isn't it? Of I guess, do you just, you know, if Marvel comes to you with a 10 film option, say, do you want to be Captain America? Or you go, no, actually, I'm just going to do independent films. I mean, obviously, you're going to take the Marvel 10
yeah,
film option, but it
yeah.
then
No, exactly.
typecasts you
Yeah.
a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, no, it is, and I mean, it's massive, massive commitment, but also like it kind of came quite early for him. He hadn't actually been in that much stuff, and obviously it's funny, isn't it? Because he'd been in Fantastic Four, and that was sort of bombed. So yeah, like for him to actually sort of then sign up for for Captain America. I mean, I think I would have it would have been interesting to see like how many films he was in for because like obviously it was quite early where in sort of the whole Marvel thing. So maybe they sort of did a 5 movie deal that then went to like a 15 movie deal. Obviously, I think he's great in Scott Pilgrim as well. I think he's like he's really funny in that. So yeah, like how do you know it's exactly as you say. Is if someone says, "Look, I'm going to pay you $1 billion to be in all of these films," but you're then going to be typecast, you're going to be a bit like, "Oh, well, yeah, but I will have $1 billion." So
And when you're just starting out, I guess you don't know what's going to happen, do you? You probably just think, well, this would be
yeah,
great. You know, I'll do this for a few years. Like you said, it might have been 5 years at the start. And then you're kind of like, well, I'm kind of stuck now. I've got to keep going.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
I think
this
it's good.
this isn't action. It's not like
No, definitely
there's
doesn't
nothing.
seem like
It's
it's going to be action.
no, no. It's a very small movie. It's a very family centered movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a
it was
classic
just
Andy
like
romantic, like heartstrings movie. It's like, you know, if I was in the DVD store and I was putting these movies back on the shelf as I often am, I would be like, well, obviously Andy's seen this one and put that back on the shelf at the back somewhere.
the Andy movie
Yeah,
section of the store
yeah,
that
it's huge.
doesn't seem to
Yeah.
get that many browsers, funnily enough.
No,
Everyone
like the
goes straight
carpet's
to
not
new
worn down
releases.
at all. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dear.
Now this might be
Mm,
a classic. Although I think like
mm,
funnily enough, so I nominated this as a film that my
yeah,
brother hadn't watched for one of our sort of
yeah.
50 movies, and he actually liked it. Although I think as part of his comment, he was like, "I can see why you like this movie," which is maybe a reference to Andy movies.
Yeah.
But no, he liked it, and I do think it's just yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, like it's if I say it's a surprising film, then you're less likely to be surprised by it. But yeah, no, it is just a nice little movie that
Yeah.
I think sort of just gets everything right and kind of
Yeah.
has a
It's
good balance between sort of funny and sad and poignant
yeah.
and just normal.
It's like if I think now where we're at, you know, we've done quite a number of podcasts now, a number of movies. Is it pretty high up the list then for just the, you know, did when you first saw this, I guess, and you put the 100 list together, you must have thought that you liked this quite a lot. I mean, obviously we'll find out
Yeah,
part two, but yeah, you must have liked this
yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, no, there's sort of there's one scene in particular that where there's like a real sort of emotional sort of hit that
Yeah,
then funnily enough did then like it just gets
yeah,
kind of the way that kids act really well, I think,
yeah,
and then that and we'll talk about it in the second half, I'm sure, but like that was there was sort of one thing that was just like okay, this is very this is just kind of
yeah, on
very
point.
noticeably sort of on point and kind of impacted and was something that I thought about with my daughter for quite a while afterwards. So like that sort of, and again I think because it did have that emotional impact, which will be it'd be interesting. I think I have watched it again since, so I've definitely watched sort of some of it again since. Be interesting to see if it still has the emotional impact kind of on a second watch. But I think, yeah, which I think it will have, because I think it's about the performances more than like the surprise of a situation. So
podcast prediction and say this is going to drop down the list based
Ooh.
purely on just reading it and looking at the DVD cover. I'm going, this is moving down.
No, yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. You're now doing predictions before the predictions.
Yeah, exactly. You know, after I've seen that amazing room that you do your predictions in, like a wing of a castle. Yeah. I'm like, well,
the lazy boy chairs in there. Why did you even have two?
Like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Two of everything in here. Who's been in here?
Yeah. No. Well. We'll have to stick it on and see.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't. I think it is one of those movies that you sort of I've randomly find and then just really love. And that's definitely like, outside of being an Andy movie, like that's a genre that I've had where just small movies that like I've randomly found, which I do, you know, I keep a watch list and I try and sort of cultivate watching trailers and kind of looking out for smaller movies. Yeah, because I do think that there are sort of a lot of gems out there that not a lot of people watched. I mean, this did 44 million at the box office. You know, it wasn't a big movie at all.
Yeah,
that's probably a lot of that was because of Chris Evans just as a name, but only cost 7 million to make, right? So I do think that there is just a very story driven movie is what I'm looking for. You know, the story and the script and the performances to a lesser extent. You know, I think there's some real gems out here, and this is honestly, this is the type of film that I would get on DVD and then I'd lend it out to someone, and then for someone's birthday I would buy it for them, and sort of say like, okay, it's just a small film, but like it is
I've
good.
watched this and it was punishment, and now you should watch it and have the same punishment.
You know what? People used to like the films that I sent to them. So
I think they were just being nice, Andy. Like, are we gonna have to get your brother back on?
It's the same with mixtapes now, isn't it? It's not the same. Like sending someone a DVD and just being like, oh, I thought you'd like this. It's not the same now. Where you're like, oh yeah, watch this on Netflix. It's just so impersonal, isn't it? It's,
you can still do mixtapes via Spotify. There you go. Little idea for you.
Yeah, the playlist isn't the same. How do you draw the inlay card?
You can. It does have like a little card on it. There's an actual physical product they sell, and you can tap your phone to it. I guess it's NFC, and it immediately plays the playlist.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, there you go. Nice. I mean, not helpful for questionable Andy DVDs, but
just need to find a way to be able to transfer the videos like that. I mean, just come down to your local video shop. It's the easiest.
Exactly, the
easiest thing.
This week, free gelato with every movie hire.
try and get people interested. I do. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it. Obviously, this just might be our shortest.
I might feel the same in part 2.
Who knows? Well, if you're dead inside, there's nothing I can do about that.
Well, you've said that nicely.
Yeah. Well, we'll go to the I'll go to the prediction room. You're not allowed in this time.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, we may as well do it now that you're in the prediction room. I can't close the door. You just want to be in it so much. Okay. I think you'll like it, but like, it might be a bit too emotional for you. But there's some funny bits in as well. I think you'll.
What did they say about me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you don't like Gifted, then just clearly,
dead inside. Well, I mean, you say that, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. So let's see how we go.
we'll see how far down the list. Would it be in that dreaded?
I
Would
know.
it be one for the dreaded bad list?
I
Would it
know.
be
I was just looking to
number
see
six?
what percentage that's going to increase by when I add gifted into it.
You're not even coming with a with a an open heart, an open mind.
I'm basing this all on that DVD cover. It looked terrible.
Yeah,
So, you know.
it's not a good DVD cover, and it's not yeah, it's not a good trailer as well. So I don't really know why I watched it, but I was
Yeah.
glad that I did. So
Well,
cool.
on that
Well,
note.
yeah, we'll put it on, and yeah, we'll see you after the jump.
Okay, I think is my. It was
It's-
okay.
It was the best. It was the best we were hoping for.
Yeah, this is probably better than you were hoping for, I think. Yeah, it was okay. Do you know what? There's a few things in it for me that I think is where it gets let down for me. Obviously, because as you said in part one, I've just got coal in my heart. So that's obviously the first thing. I just don't think that. I think the kid was really good. I just don't
Mm.
think. I don't know if they deliberately. Chris Evans is act his character. He didn't really. He was just a real wet lettuce, right? He just like let everything just fly off my back. Whereas in reality, I felt like if you were in that scenario, you would be going crazy. You definitely wouldn't be talking to your mum after she's trying to take custody of your niece after you've looked after her for 7 years. You wouldn't just be after a day in court go, oh, cool, yeah. So how's your husband? Oh, he's off and traveling around. Is it? You wouldn't be having that conversation. You'd be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you trying to steal my niece? So I don't know if that was him or the character, but I didn't like it. I didn't think it
Yeah,
didn't play well for me. I don't think that bit.
yeah.
So I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I think it sort of speaks to, for me, like for the characters that like he doesn't know. He doesn't know what if what he's doing is right. He doesn't know what the right thing
Yeah,
is.
that's fine.
He's trying, but
Yeah.
like
But he shows
and
no emotion. Like when the mums
mm,
and the lawyers are really going after him and going after his character, which has got, not necessarily to do with her, he's just got nothing. He's just such a wet lettuce. He doesn't, he just has nothing that he just doesn't show any emotion. And I think for me, I just don't feel that would have been realistic. And that's what I think lost it for me. I was like, this doesn't feel that realistic. Because yeah, and like I think you're right. His turmoil of whether he thinks he's doing the right thing or not was good. And it's a fair point, but you don't know. But I don't know. He just didn't really. Yeah, I don't know. The court scenes. He just really was like, "Why are you even here? I don't know if you need to be here." He's just like completely useless. And then the other thing is just films. I'm a lover of maths, but films keep trying to make it cool, and it's just not cool. You can't make maths cool, and yeah, I mean, there was a couple of scenes where they tried, obviously with the when she goes to London and they're trying to make sure that she could
Boston. Yeah.
decipher, yeah, yeah, and she's trying to decipher that equation they set up, and I was just like, we didn't need that. We just did not need that. We
Ah, you're
understand that she's good
talking
at
about.
maths. Why do
No,
you need
what
that?
writing maths on a chalkboard is what
Yeah.
is brilliant. That's like a movie trope.
Wow.
That is like the definition. And there's a couple more on the list. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
Oh
no,
no.
doing an equation on a chalkboard is like that's what maths means to everyone who can't do maths. Maybe it's because you're too good at maths, and so that's not actually what maths is. But to me, that's
Yeah.
what maths is.
I don't know. I just feel like there was a whole scene on it, and I was like, we don't need a whole scene on this. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I was trying to think. There's so many films that they try to make maths cool, and you're like, it just doesn't come across when you put maths on a chalkboard. Maybe that's my problem. Is I've seen that too many times, and it brings back trauma. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's just me. But yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't enamored. I didn't hate it. Thought it was okay. I thought there were some very good bits in it. But yeah, I didn't. Oh yeah, it was okay. Like I enjoyed watching it, but yeah, it wasn't amazing in my mind.
Yeah. Well, and I think, as I said sort of before, I didn't want to oversell it because I do, yeah,
Yeah,
I do think it's a surprise rather than like, oh, this is the greatest movie of all time. You're like, well, really, this should be
yeah,
a pretty average movie, and actually, it's above average,
yeah,
and it's good.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I still really enjoyed it. Again, like
yeah,
you kind of after the first 25 minutes, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know
yeah,
what
yeah,
the dilemma is. You know, like the
yeah.
setup
That's
is
true.
there, but
Mm,
still, yeah, it's still just sort of hits for me, and I
yeah,
sort of said in the first bit. So the bit where he's leaving her at the home, and it's just like, don't leave me.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
just such
Brutal.
a yeah, such an emotional scene, and it
Yeah.
was that actually. So after I'd watched this, I was
Mm,
putting Poppy to bed, and then she was like, "Well, don't leave me," and literally like it was almost, I think maybe even the same evening I'd watched it, and I was just like,
yeah.
like it was, yeah, just really resonated, and so then I had to like stay with her and stuff, and just so I was like, I'm not leaving her in a foster house, I'm just leaving her in her bedroom
Yeah.
and going
At that
downstairs.
point,
But
was that when you thought, yeah, this film's gonna have to go a bit higher up on my top 100 list as, as you're sitting in Bobby's room with her.
I think, yeah, exactly. I was ignoring it. I was just writing out the list, but
Yeah.
but no, that's the thing. So yeah, that still had an emotional punch, and then when he sort of goes back for her and is like, yeah, I made a
Mm,
mistake, and she's like, you left me. I just yeah, it
yeah.
just yeah,
Yeah.
sort of
Tough.
just kills me.
She was
So just
very
think
good, I
they do
must
it really
admit.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, I think she was very good. Yeah, she
yeah.
did do very well. And I think the side characters are pretty good as well. One of the things, I don't know if I missed this, but it didn't really seem to be anything that I saw about that explain why the mum hates Frank so much. Like she just has complete disdain for him. And I'm like, he is definitely her son, right? Like I'm like, she just completely hates him. And then she loses the custody battle, or at the end gets the manuscript, so does a quid pro quo. But you're like, and then just goes, oh yeah, I'll see you later then. You're like, what? How much? What has happened? Why do you hate your son so much? What has
Yeah,
gone on?
yeah, I don't think it's hate, but it's clearly she's so focused on the maths and
Mm,
like and on her daughter being able to do the maths because
yeah,
she's living the life through her daughter, right? So
yeah,
she had kids, which meant that then she couldn't keep on with her maths career, and then
yeah,
so then like yeah, so then first of all she's a little bit kind of resentful of having kids rather than being
yeah.
able to keep doing the maths, and then obviously I think yeah, for me it's just, well yeah, she just concentrates on the daughter and almost just doesn't really care about Frank at all because yeah, like
Yeah.
he's not got
Yeah,
the
she
maths, and
doesn't,
then
does she?
when he sort of maybe leaves then academia and goes down, like she's just sort of disdainful of his lifestyle
Mm,
of like wanting to live a normal life, right? And for her, she's like, well,
yeah.
yeah, but this is like you're less than you could be, and why would you ever live like that?
Mm,
Which I think
yeah.
I mean, I think the mum's really good in it because yeah, right away
Yeah.
from the start, she's like the evil, and you're just going like, ooh,
Evil. Yeah.
you'd be booing her. I did think it
Yeah.
was really funny when he's describing his mum, and he says, oh, she's just really British, and the teacher says, well, you mean like actually British or just British in demeanor? And I was a bit like, what do you mean? What do you mean
Yeah,
by?
what does that mean? Yeah.
I think
Like
we all
stuck
know what
up
that means.
and yeah.
And cold.
Yeah. Well, which has been confirmed by watching this film and not feeling anything about it. Was there
But
anything
yeah,
that you noticed this time that you hadn't previously?
no, yeah, I think it
It's
is.
pretty new still, I
Yeah,
guess, isn't it?
it's pretty sort of straightforward. I do think, yeah, I did notice. So she's 9, and
Yes.
in the school they're doing 2+2 and 3+3. Which I don't know if that's a sad indictment of the US education system or just Florida,
Mm,
which it may well be, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But I'm fairly sure that, well, my daughter is in actual fact 9 and she's not a maths
Yeah.
prodigy, and they've done 3+3 a while ago. So I'm fairly sure that by 9 you're doing better things than that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love the little girl. I love the way the little girl reacts with everyone else. When she when she gets the whole class to clap for Justin, I just think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just amazing.
yeah,
She's like, I want to say, can I now say something that I actually want to say? And then she sort of
yeah.
gets
That was
everyone
good.
to clap. That's the thing. Like she sort of what I think she does really well, and what the script does really well is that comparison of she is sort of very mature and obviously very
Mm,
intelligent in some
yeah,
ways, but then a little kid in other ways. And I think that's
yeah,
like really good, like when she's sort of playing with the Legos or she's like
yeah. I
drawing
was gonna say
and
that.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But then is also very mature in other ways. I think is
Mm,
is really good.
yeah.
So I
She's
think
almost had to.
they get that.
Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, I think it's almost like she's had become an adult, wasn't she? You know, before her time.
Yeah,
But you're right. They do. I was going to say the same thing. The Lego scene's a good one where you remember actually she's only 9,
yeah,
and yeah, she was very
and
good. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then I mean the hospital scene is over is over the top and sentimental and corny. But actually,
yeah,
yeah, but I just do just love it as a scene. I just think it's just a really nice. It's just a really
yeah,
nice scene. I like the second one or the third one. They actually go over and celebrate, and I was just thinking like, imagine having to explain why you're there. Oh, we just thought we'd come and
yeah,
see some people. They'd be like,
yeah,
are
yeah,
you waiting for someone to give birth? No, no,
yeah.
we're just here to hang out.
I did wonder that. Yeah, I wonder if they were going to say to her like, like, what are you doing here? Why are you jumping around? Yeah.
I'm not sure why they take Roberta to the hospital as well. Like that's
Just punishment. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I do think like even straight away, I think she just gives a she just gives a bit more gravitas than she if that sort of almost a
Mm.
lesser character or a lesser
Yeah, yeah,
actress,
yeah,
then like yeah, then I think it doesn't work so well. But the fact that she does go in straight away and is like, if anything happens to that child, I'm gonna smother you in your sleep, and you
yeah,
know that she
yeah,
means it. Like yeah, just sort of
yeah,
yeah, sort of says okay, well it's not just him and her. There is a bit of a community there, which I
yeah,
think is really good.
yeah,
And then, yeah, one of the things, one of the
yeah.
questions that sort of came up for it, teachers allowed to sleep with their kids' parents, aren't they? I don't think there's a law about
Mm,
that. Surely, like, I mean, controversial if they're married, but if they're single, surely you can just do that.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is it because they're in a? I guess yeah, right. Yeah, it shouldn't make any
It's
difference.
not illegal,
Yeah,
is it? It's not going to
if
be
you
illegal,
can,
but
yeah, if you can go into a public school and ask them tomorrow, that would be great. Just
see what happens.
just I'm conducting a survey based on completely independent. It's not for my own use, but
I've
are
got a
the parents
podcast
allowed to
that
speak
we're
with
discussing.
t-shirts? Yeah.
But I think
Mm.
she's quite good in it. And I like the bit where they're getting drunk and stuff. And
Yeah.
I thought it was funny again when they're doing Truth and Dare, and then she's like, "What's your greatest fear?" There's always someone, isn't there, when you're doing Truth or Dare, who just takes it too
Yeah.
seriously. You're just like, "Come on, you're killing the buzz
Yeah.
here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Greatest fear? That's not
Yeah. We're
what
just trying
we're."
to have a bit of fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's
So I
good. I
thought that
did
was
think
good.
she was good as well. Yeah. I think all this that's what I think the side characters are good, and then the kid's really good. And I think the premise as well was pretty good. And then some of the courtroom scenes I thought were very good. Like the defense lawyer was good.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
love when the judge is at the very start of it. The judge is like, yeah, grandmother and uncle like
Yeah,
custody, and he's like, "You sure you don't want to just step outside and sort this out?"
yeah,
No,
yeah,
shame.
yeah.
And yeah, you're just
Yeah,
like, yeah, like that's
um,
well, that's why I think it is almost it is quite good. It is a little bit different where it's like, yeah, they're both doing what they think is best,
mm,
but like maybe not for Mary because also their
yes,
motives kind of come into it, right? And so like it's almost good that they're not so antagonistic and like they are actually having
yeah,
a conversation, but it is still like he's still like yeah, drive her to the airport or like yeah, why don't you just leave? And
yeah,
they're I think that's why I like the friction in it is because they both think they're right and they both it's
yeah,
possible for them both to just really think that they're right and for them yeah not to be and obviously
yeah,
like yeah that's that again is the thing of like I think Chris Evans does really well in having that thing of I don't know what's going to be right but I want to do what's right by her but
mm,
also I kind of need to do what's right by me and how much do those things
Yeah,
overlap and interlink, because you're kind of like, well, I do still want my life, but I don't want I don't want me wanting my life to then have a bad effect on her. And then, the fact
yeah,
is that he doesn't have a piano and he doesn't have health insurance. And I think he does well
yeah,
for me, like getting that, like, yeah, just getting that kind of, yeah, I don't know what's right, but he starts listening to other people, and then that's when he realizes that actually, okay,
mm,
yeah, this isn't right. This was a bad decision because I
yeah,
was listening to other people. And it's a corny line, but as he says, well, she's doing all right, and I've raised her so far. Then, you know,
yeah,
until someone has
yeah. Well, that's almost,
the perfect human
yeah,
being that we can all compare and say, oh, we should do that. Like, it's all a bit of a crapshoot anyway,
yeah,
where everyone's just trying to do their
yeah,
best, and you don't know,
yeah,
like, who knows
yeah,
what it is,
exactly.
it's how it's going to go. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. No, I think, yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's those elements he did well, and you're right, him sort of coming across as not quite knowing whether he should be making a decision A or decision B, and he wanted what was right for her, but does that mean staying with him? And you're right. Ultimately, everyone's trying to do their best, but no one's created the perfect human. So,
yeah.
we don't know, and there's no reason to say that he would have done any better or worse than anyone else. So yeah, I mean, I like the concept. I think as well as you were saying about his life, I think they introduced that very nicely in the film where with that whole Lego scene where he steps on the Lego and he's like, oh, can't I just get 5 minutes of my
It's
own life?
it's really
And it's
painful as
really
well.
yeah, just stepping on Lego, yeah. And I think that was really good because it's like, yeah, they didn't delve into it. They just showed you it and highlighted it, and you're like, oh yeah, and it just gave you an appreciation, understanding of, yeah, he didn't, he wasn't thinking of maybe he wasn't thinking of having kids. He's now got a kid, because obviously what happened to his sister. And so I thought that was nice. That really, you're like, oh yeah, actually, of course, he wants his own life as well. And you're right, but then he saw how that impacted her, and he's like, oh yeah. And so that was, I thought the Lego scene was a really, really good scene. The way
Yeah.
they rode that one out, and then obviously you got the teacher at the start as well, which is good. So yeah, I mean, I think there were some really good pieces in it. How did you describe it to the aliens?
No, I just again, it's just sort of trying to throw them off. I said this is a film about the fact that we're so intelligent that it's not enough for us just to be intelligent, and
Yeah,
trying to
you have
plant
to
the
be,
seed against invasion.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that we're intelligent. But does that mean that they'll just soak our brains instead? And just pull our
and
brains
then
out and start using them?
but that won't be enough. They also need to know how to do a good handshake. So
Yeah, true, true. There are other little nuances of things that they need to know. So yeah,
what about you? What did you
yeah.
have?
I put 3D people try to make maths cool.
You got a real being about your bonnet about this.
It it did really run through, and then there was some other when we come up to the other films that are similar to. I was like, oh, I bet it's similar to these other films that I haven't seen because they're trying to make maths cool, and I don't want to watch them.
We definitely, maybe for the next one, we definitely need a second mathematician on to see whether it's just you, whether
Yeah, exactly.
whether
Well,
they're like,
technically,
no, I love this film.
that wouldn't still be a statistically relevant sample, I'm afraid, Andy.
They're
But
like,
yeah.
no, I think it's really cool because it makes maths really cool. And so, well, funnily enough, I did some research of the Problems. Grigori Perelman actually declined the award because his work was on top of someone else's work, and they wouldn't give that other person the award with him. So he actually
All
declined
right.
it. So yeah, there we go.
There
That's
you
I'm
go.
sure that was a big thing in the
Oh,
maths. Did you not get that in the maths newsletter that you get
I
the
mean,
maths
yeah,
community?
you're preaching to the choir here. Obviously, I know all about that. So, I was just pretending that this was new information. So, to make you feel better. Yeah,
But I think it
we
is
all know
really good
about
when they're walking past these, and they say the grandmother says, "Oh, this was your mother's problem," and I like,
that.
obviously
Yeah, yeah,
that has
yeah,
levels and layers, doesn't it, to it?
yeah,
The fact that you're calling it a problem when yeah, what's happened has happened. You're like, yeah, yeah, no,
yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's crazy as well, right? To think that those sort of things you can just have those things set up for people, and it's
yeah,
almost like an impossible. you know, an impossible question that you can't answer, and they're just like, "Yep, we're just going to try and do that." And I'm just like, why do people waste their time doing this stuff? Isn't there so much more important things that we could be doing in the world rather than
Devote that
trying to
whole life.
prove?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, but that was a bit interesting. Did you have any questions that you thought the film asked or answered?
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, for me it is like, yeah, what's best for your kids, like who,
Yeah,
and the answer is who knows. Like
yeah, yeah.
you just
True.
don't know. One of the other things that from the grandmother, I wonder what's wrong with saying irregardless. She's like, oh, it's a foster family. They'll watch sitcoms and teach her to say irregardless. I was like,
Ah,
is irregardless not a word? Should we not be using that?
irregardless. Is it the wrong? Is it just the wrong? Yeah, grammar. Would you say?
I
Is
don't know.
it? I
Clearly,
don't know.
I'm
With the
I'm the foster family rather than the
yeah,
intelligent family. Or the,
irregardless. Yeah, don't know. I'm the same. I'm numbers. You can't ask me about words. Come on. I was just going to say, yeah, I put should people be vetted before they have children? That was what I was thinking. Should people actually, should we check that they should be allowed to have children before they do? Thinking
There
more
should be
so
some
of
sort
the
of test.
I'm thinking more so of the grandma than obviously the her
Yeah,
daughter. But yeah,
yeah.
like
Although the bit with the
yeah,
dad as well is just where she's like crying and she's just like he didn't even want to come and see me. Like, yeah,
yeah,
that's still
yeah,
just that
brutal.
hit. Yeah, that like
Yeah,
I was still welling up watching this even
yeah,
yeah even now like yeah I was so yeah when she's just
yeah,
so upset and she's like oh he
yeah,
doesn't even want to see what I look like and
yeah.
yeah
That's
no, I think it was really
brutal.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously Frank makes them just sit in a hospital for 6 hours instead. And they're
Yeah,
like, I'm not sure I
reading
feel
magazines.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel different, but I'm not sure I feel better.
Look at all these happy people.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it great how they're happy?
For switching something out, so I've got a great one for
Yeah,
this. So
let's go.
it's a prequel. The grandmother
Yeah.
marries Fletcher from Whiplash, and they produce the
Oh,
greatest family
wow.
ever. And they're just like the
Wow.
most. They take over the planet because they're so motivated, and they're
They
just
take over the
they're just
planet.
the best kids
Mm.
ever because the grandmother and Fletcher just keep them on the straight and
Wow.
narrow.
God, can you imagine those two as a combo? Jesus, God. I mean, it brings competitive dad and competitive mum to a whole new level, isn't it?
But they'd
Wow.
win. So that's the most
They would
important
win. They would win. But at what cost? Yeah. I don't know. What was your favorite character?
Well, I don't know about favorite, but I can tell you another maybe we need to edit this category as well. That another person on the bad list, that receptionist
Yeah.
who's like, "Oh, I've got a one-eyed cat, but I don't know
Yeah.
what his name is." Literally on the front of
Yeah.
the cage it says Fred. So that receptionist is a liar. She was
Just
quite
phoning
happy that
it
Fred was
in.
going to die. So she's on the list along with that guy from Crazy Stupid Love, and I'm sure there was one other character that I unreasonably I hated as
Hey,
well from
geez.
another movie, but I couldn't remember who was that. So
She might just be, she's just a dog person and she's been sent in secretly to help take
to
out all the
kill all the
cats.
cats. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, it literally says it on the cage, and I love the fact that he
Yeah,
actually
in
takes
massive
like
letters.
he takes all three cats as well, which I thought was a nice touch. Like he
Yeah,
takes all of the
yeah.
cats that are just about to be put down, which I think is like,
Although
yeah,
he's going to regret that instantly. No one wants three cats.
well,
One cat's
Fred
bad
seemed
enough.
quite chilled. Fred was the greatest cat in the world, right? So,
Thing
yeah.
is, that was one of the questions I wrote down is, are one-eyed cats better than just normal cats? Like, does a one-eyed cat make a cat okay? Like, I don't like cats. Well, no, I don't like cats. Yeah, I don't like cats. Yeah, I'm putting it out
Oh, I
there.
mean, all cat. Well, have you met every
Yeah.
cat? What are you talking about?
Well, domestic cats, obviously, lions
Oh,
and
you've met
tigers.
every
I'm
domestic
all
cat.
over them. Yeah, they're all annoying. They're all annoying. Every single one of them.
Domesticated cats. We were at the zoo this week. A
Oh
small
yeah,
side point, and it was quite
yeah.
hot in the UK. And that loads of people were saying, "Oh, it's just too hot for them. Look, they're just sort of lying around." And it's like, they're not. What are you talking
Where did
about?
they
This
come
isn't.
from?
This isn't.
Yeah,
This isn't hot. Like they're from India. Like this is.
yeah,
This is actually quite chill still. Like
yeah,
there,
yeah.
there is actually cover. So so I didn't like her,
Bad
but
one.
and yeah,
Mm.
I do think I like Roberta. I like Octavia Spencer. I do
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
she elevates it a bit more. And
Mm.
having when you have like a ridiculously good actor or actress in a really small role, which is a bit beneath them realistically. But it does just elevate the entire movie. And I just love that. I love the when she does the grandma's about to sort of run after, and she just steps in front of her, and she's just like,
no,
and just I love that. So
yeah, she was very good. I must say, like she was really, really good. She definitely is notably a very good actor amongst the rest. And I think you're right, really elevates the whole film.
Was there anyone that you
just
really
put Fred,
identified with?
I mean, he did. He looked chilled. He was a one-eyed cat. I was
and
like,
yet you don't like
if ever
cats.
you're gonna,
Is this the
but that's what I was
turnaround?
saying.
Is this the
Well,
film
maybe
that could?
I like one-eyed cats. Maybe that's what it is. I'll tell you when I see another one-eyed cat. I'll let you know if I'm a one-eyed cat person or not.
I think you should just
But
get a one-eyed cat, and then that can
no,
be.
I'm not getting a cat. No, like, can you imagine that? I'm not even getting a dog. I'm like, I decided just to get a cat. And it's only got one eye as well.
Based on this film that I thought was okay. Didn't
Yeah,
even like
we're
the film
doing a
that much.
social experiment just to see if actually I like one-eyed cats rather than cat. Yeah, that would
Okay,
be
well,
mad.
next week we'll have the update on how looking after one-eyed cat is going.
Yeah. Don't send me one in the post, Andy. It won't make it.
If any of our listeners have a one-eyed cat
Yeah.
they'd like to donate.
No. What about the favorite lines? Do you have any favorite lines on this?
Yeah, I thought there were loads actually. I thought the script is really good.
It's
I
good.
like the fact when she's going to school, he says you're going to meet kids today you can borrow money from for the rest of your life. I think that's a good one.
Yeah,
When he
I had
goes
that.
into the school and he says, if we separate our leaders from the normal people like you and me, then we get congressmen. And then
Yeah, that is
that's
good.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, there was some good ones.
When she says, "Oh, do I call you grandmother?" and she says, "Yeah," or Evelyn, and then like two seconds later, she says, "Well, say goodnight to grandmother or Evelyn." I thought that
Yeah,
was great. And then I do
yeah.
really love that when she comes back from Boston, she steps out the car and she just says, "I'm loaded with swag."
Yeah, there was some good lines, I must say. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Chris Evans was okay, and I don't dislike him as an actor, but I don't know. I don't know if the character was too wet or whether he played it that way. But yeah, for me, definitely he was the
I
one
think he's supposed to
thing that
be
was.
just a little bit unemotional. He's also like obviously he is very
Mm,
intelligent. He's philosophy person, right?
yeah,
So that's the thing. I think like the apple's still not going to fall far from the tree. So he is still going to
yeah,
be sort of
yeah,
not
so,
completely emotional, right? He's not going to be like completely, because
yeah,
he's still going to be logical, right? Because it's the family is very logical, and that is how he would have
yeah,
still been brought up and stuff. So I think there's a through
yeah.
line between him and his mother.
I think,
So
yeah, if that's the case, then I think she plays that, the mother plays that very well in terms of, you're right, come across as sort of stone-faced and just very like one-dimensional, just, you know, all about the maths, all about trying to prove that solution. Yeah, I don't think he really came across like that. I don't think he didn't have that same gravitas, that same, I didn't think he pulled that characteristic through as much as she did, I would say.
yeah,
But,
maybe just took it too much of a step back.
yeah.
Got to go on to the
Test
reviews.
match reviews. What
Yeah. So I
reviews?
think maybe the first time ever that one of the reviews was maybe written by one of the characters from the film. So we had a decent film, but not what I was expecting. It starts okay, but it soon declines into a story of family feuds and not the story of a genius little girl becoming what she should. And you're just like, oh, so you're like, yeah, she didn't
Random.
fulfill her potential, and that
Yeah.
was a real shame. So
So this
someone said,
person wanted more maths
yeah,
films. That,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
just wanted her to be stood at the chalkboard for the rest of the film.
yeah.
Someone said the actor playing the father was just not in the least authentic and very one-dimensional.
There
Now,
you go.
either that's like having a go at Chris Evans, or they actually
Yeah.
mean the father who was in
No.
for like 2 minutes in the courtroom,
Yeah.
and maybe that just threw them off. They're like, no, I just didn't think the father was very convincing. You
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
the uncle? I'm not sure you weren't paying
Yes,
attention
that's
here.
enough attention. Yeah. Yeah. True. Good
Yeah, I
review.
don't.
Incorrectly written. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I
Mm.
don't think that actor will go far. Yeah, someone said bought as a gift, which obviously they missed the
Nice.
chance at
Yeah.
a pun there. And then the next
Yeah.
literally the next review down said gifted, and you're like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. That's how it's
That
done.
was the
Yeah.
pun that we were going for. And then someone said good throughout, but disappointed with the ending. So clearly, again, they were
Oh
like, no,
wow.
she
What
should
they
stay, she should stay with the
but
grandmother.
which is ridiculous because she still goes to the school, right? She goes to
Yeah.
the, the gifted school. She's like, what? So, but she should have actually been like whipped as well by the grandmother.
Yeah,
That's what they're
yeah.
saying.
This is
Yeah, madness.
when you were doing maths. Then was there still a 10-year-old in there? Because I feel like with maths is one of those things
Yeah.
that like if you do maths at a prestigious university, there's always going to be like some 10-year-old at the front of the
Yeah.
class, and you don't
Showing
get that
everyone
in
up.
very many other subjects. So is that maybe
Yeah.
is there something that we're uncovering from when you
Yeah. This is what I had to do when I was 10. This is why I hate maths so much.
I more
Yeah.
thought that
I
there would
know,
be a
yeah, what
10-year-old
you
when
thought.
you were hungover
Yeah.
as an 18-year-old, but
Yeah. No, God, yeah, there's such terrible, terrible times. No one ever do maths as a degree. It's the worst thing in the world. It's completely useless.
and then yeah, well, one last one. It's an emotional film, very good. But why have we not got a Blu-ray release in the UK?
Oh, I
Three
mean,
stars.
true.
I
Yeah.
mean, this
Yeah.
is if there was ever a film that would benefit
The
from
needed
being
Blu-ray.
more high definition in Blu-ray, it's
Yeah.
this one. Like all of those
Yeah.
shots and effects definitely, yeah, definitely make the difference. So
Well, I mean, Fred really pops in Blu-ray.
you really see the difference in that one eye on the Blu-ray.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
one of the best things. Yeah. So
So
what did you have for the Algo then?
yeah, I struggle with this one. So I put Good Will Hunting. I haven't seen this, but
Obviously,
I presume everyone's going to put that because I'm pretty sure that's the same sort of film. I've not seen it.
yeah.
The Theory of Everything as well. I was like, oh, I mean, I guess it's kind of the same sort of thing. I did actually put as a slightly left field one, Life is Beautiful, because I was like, I have seen that one, and I was thinking that's similar-ish because you've got the relationship with the parent and the child, and you're trying to sort of make sure that the child still understands or enjoys their childhood for as long as they can, always has like a normal childhood in extreme circumstances. Obviously, both of them are very different. But yeah, so I was like, maybe that is a slightly left field one. So that's what I came up with.
Interesting that if someone was like, "Oh, you know what? I really like the film Gifted," and you were like, "Oh, yeah, you probably like Life is Beautiful then," and then
Well,
they
life
put
is
Life is Beautiful
beautiful.
on, and then for the first half, they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is good,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the train
Well,
arrives.
that is bad, but that is still one of. I think is it my top favorite film?
It's
Let
your
me
top
just
favorite
double
film, yeah.
check. It is my top favorite film of your list so far. So that is a good film.
High
Whereas this is
praise.
just okay. I mean, if Chris Evans had been in Life is Beautiful, it might have fallen down the list a little bit.
Just not sure he would have been able to portray it. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So this, yeah, Life is Beautiful is more than left field, I would say. But funnily enough, the Algo actually has Room. Do you know
What's
that
that?
film
Right.
about the person who's been kidnapped and the mum and the kid live in the cupboard and they don't know
Right.
anything that exists outside of the room because they've been yeah, like it's funny. I haven't watched the film, but I've read the book. And again,
No.
this is nothing like that story. So I
Yeah.
was like, wow. Yeah, they went for Kramer versus Kramer, which
Yeah.
I kind of
I've
get.
seen
But
that.
again, the vibe is just
Yeah.
completely different. And I
Yeah.
Am
Okay.
Sam, and then yeah, Good Will Hunting because of the maths. And
Yeah.
Boyhood,
Yeah.
which
No.
again, yeah,
I've
not
seen that.
Boyhood is probably similar-ish just because it's a bit more chilled. I don't think putting it up against Kramer versus Kramer or Room.
No.
It's just yeah, a completely
Yeah.
different vibe. Like this is a chilled out movie. It's not like it's not a heavy
Yeah.
movie at all, right? It is just a good sort of yeah, Saturday afternoon watch type thing. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, there's a
I
bit
don't
of
know.
heaviness in it, but not intense.
Yeah.
It sounds like this might be a draw. Like we've both gone. We've both
It,
like both me and the Algo have missed the mark.
you know
Or
what?
maybe it's -1 for both.
Well, I was
Could do
definitely
better.
I was like, you know what? It's nothing like Room, so I was definitely
Yeah.
not going to award it to the Algo. And then you've thrown
And then
in
I
Life is
came up with Life is
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
it's definitely not like Life is Beautiful. So yeah, I think it's a draw,
All
and we
round.
yeah we just we keep it at the same scores. I think
Yeah.
for
Please see
that. So
teacher.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, so it's 57 on the list. Where's it going to go to now? Where is it going to go on the list?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, just ticks a lot of boxes for me. I think it's got the
Yeah.
father-daughter relationship. It's got the mother
Yeah.
turning up on your doorstep, not being something you really want to see.
Yeah.
It's got a philosophical father figure. Yeah, I
Good
just yeah,
actors.
you
That
know,
seems to be a big one on your list.
yeah,
Good
to a certain extent. I
good
mean,
kid
it's
actors.
no, and just emotional. So yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it at 57. I think again,
Wow.
it's one of those like surprising ones where you're just kind of like, oh, actually, this doesn't almost in some ways this doesn't have a right to be watchable at all. But
Yeah.
actually, yeah, it's good. It's watchable, and as I say, yeah, it still has an emotional kick for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I still really enjoyed it, and would still recommend it
Yeah.
to people as sort of something that's yeah, just a bit, not even a bit different, but like yeah, it's a good little movie. So
I feel like
how?
selling it to yourself now. What's going
Well,
on?
I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying to sell it to you, but obviously you've already yeah. Where in the okay list did it go?
Yeah, I put it in 31 of 44. So yeah,
Right.
firmly in the okay list. And yeah, below Beast of the Southern Wild and above Kiss
Yeah,
Kiss Bang
okay.
Bang.
Okay.
So yeah, in the middle of the okay section. It was okay. It was there was some really good bits in it, and I finished the film thinking that was a. I think that the Chris Evans thing, and I don't want to bang on about it, because I do like Chris Evans. I not that I just think his character, I just couldn't. It didn't feel believable to me how he was portraying it, and I don't know if that was him or whether it was the character, but the he would either have to be he would have had to be more stone colder inside and been very like matter of fact or emotional and been like, why are you trying to take my niece away? This is ridiculous. And he was neither. And I think for me then I just didn't believe, and it just made the courtroom pieces a little bit not as impactful for me and just sort of pulled it down a little bit. So yeah, that's why it's sort of in that okay section for me.
Mm, okay. Well, yeah,
Mhm.
next to Beast of the Southern Wild, I guess there's definitely
Yeah.
similarities there. So
Yeah.
interesting. Wow. Well, it's yeah, we continue on. So for
Yeah.
next week, yeah, we for next week we have she's really starting to damage my calm. I've always liked that as a quote for the film for next week. So we'll go on to there. Thanks to Tom Miller for the theme song, and we'll see you next week.